I was on the phone with my sister Evelyn this morning and I was telling her where I was going. She's like, where are you going? And I told her I'm meeting up with Brighton to film one of his first podcast episodes. And we were both just raving about him. Brighton's probably because they joke around online memes all day. They're like, they need to make podcast equipment more expensive because everyone and their dog is
doing it. Totally.
They're like creating a podcast and they have nothing good to say. But Brighton is the epitome of, I would actually listen to that podcast. That's so awesome. So with your plans for the podcast, this is the first episode and you're wanting to focus on success stories. Where you want to come from?
Yeah. Man, really, you should be running this, Marla.
Sorry.
This is awesome. No, this is great coaching for me. So the point of the drop is actually a surfing term. Okay. Have you ever heard of the drop? It's also a ski term, so you might have heard of it.
I would like to claim that I'm athletic. I just like to be outside. That doesn't mean I know terms for stuff. So no, I actually don't know what the drop means. Okay. So elaborate.
The drop it happens in skiing. You've ridden a roller coaster, right?
Yes.
So it's also that thing on the roller coaster where you're going over the first crest. Okay. And then you get that almost euphoric feeling as you start to go down. But it's not
euphoric for me. I'm going to throw up. But I do see where you're coming from.
So it's that throw up feeling that you
So you know that throw up feeling?
It's not, but it's afterwards.
But Brock loves that. So
I believe
he's a roller coaster guy. So I can see it.
Okay. Euphoric. Thank you. Now when I get Brock on, I'll make sure to be like, Brock, the roller coaster. Yeah.
It's gonna be great. Okay.
Dude, I love him. But so that feeling, like when you're surfing, you feel the wave pick up the back end of your surfboard as it approaches you.
That sounds so cool.
Come out sometime. Let's do it.
I know.
But when you feel it pick up the surfboard, like you start to, you realize you have to make a choice. You either got to decide at that moment, like the wave has good energy, it has good pick. Okay. And so you're going to keep paddling so you can take it. Or you have to decide to wait for the next one. And so the podcast comes from this like analogy that there are waves of opportunity out there. Okay. And I think people can sense the waves, not only like in the world, but also within themselves, like what their spirit resonates with, which we would also use like waves in terms of like resonance and sound.
For sure.
And so the idea is people sense in their souls like when a wave is coming to them and they start to feel a little bit of that throw up feeling or a little bit of that like euphoric. It's like the pre-euphoria feeling. But I actually would say it's probably more about the throw up bit.
Because it can be really intimidating. Also like seizing an opportunity to be terrifying. Yeah. Whether you miss it or you take it. Yeah. Okay, so that's why you are deciding to go with the drop.
Yeah, so we're going with the drop because if you decide to let it pass, eventually, like you'll just chill out there on the waves and nothing will happen. I think people live their life like that. I've lived my life like that before. Okay. But I see other people who have taken the drop. So the wave starts to pick up, you decide to commit, and then there's that feeling where the board will drop like 2 or 3 feet into the wave. Jeez. Yeah, it's the, you probably throw up.
Throw up feeling.
That's the throw up feeling. But after you hit the drop and get like down the wave and start riding, like that feeling of euphoria, that next part.
No, I enjoy that part of the roller coaster. Yeah. You can get past that feeling and the rest of it is so fun.
Exactly. And that feeling gets people surfing. If they only get one good wave on a day, they'll come back days for weeks until they get it again.
So they can recreate that.
Totally. So
that's so cool.
I'm trying to do is for people that want to take the drop because their soul senses, it's very much a spiritual thing. Their soul senses that's something that they want to be doing. What are the things that someone who already took the drop and did what they want to do, how do we unobscure those steps so that way it's less scary? So for surfing, you learn how to sit correctly on the surfboard so you don't miss the wave because you're too far back and you don't fall over the front because you're too far forward. Like those things that kind of may be obvious to the experienced surfer, but may not be obvious to the new surfer. Those are what this is about. And so instead of surfing, we're doing different things.
You're bridging the gap. You're making it not secret anymore.
Not secret anymore. If you want to keep your secrets, that's totally cool too.
No, I will literally spill.
You know what they say, gatekeeping is for losers.
Exactly.
I probably shouldn't say that on the podcast.
You can say that.
I need to reach out to the UK chick and be like, hey, is it okay if I steal that?
No, it's a good phrase though. So
thanks.
But yeah, so are you now wondering, because my sister and I, Evelyn, do have our business. Yeah. It's technically called Marla Catherine LLC, which I feel like sounds weird that my name is a business, but it is. What do you want to know about that?
Great. So I actually have a couple of questions I wrote down, but I may not go through all of them. Can I pass them to you really fast? So what I did for the background was I reached out to a couple people that have been your fans for years.
Okay.
And
wait, say that again?
A couple of people who have been your fans for years.
You reached out to them?
I reached out to them.
Wait, that is really cool.
It wasn't hard to find them, to be honest.
Like I just went through some of the comment section. That is so cool.
It was mainly like people that I know that were like, Marla, and I'm like, yeah. Because Marla, I didn't know that you had any of this happening. I just knew you from the ward. And then I was like, my friend Mac was like, I like girls that were blonde. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Let me set you up with Marla. Date went so bad.
I've had better dates. He was nice.
Yeah. He's not Brock.
It's not Brock. I'm sorry.
No, it's totally cool. Marla, when I saw you on the date with him is completely opposite, I think, to how I've seen you literally every other time.
It's okay.
And I was that in that moment, I was like, that was probably my first impression of you, Marla. I was like, oh, Marla isn't as fun as I thought she was going to be. And then, but then I saw you with other people. But I'm so glad that I got to know you more than, first of all,
Than that first impression.
the first impression of the date or whatever. But also, there's a friend element of it for sure that's been helped along because you've been dating Brock.
Yeah.
But there's an element of when Brock is taken out of the picture, I always have such a good time with you. It's
No, that's
so
what I'm saying.
fun.
You're genuinely so fun. I'm like, this is so perfect that you're starting a podcast. I'll listen every single time.
Listen, it's gotten me dinner at your family's house.
Are you coming over for dinner on Sunday? It'll be perfect. It's so exciting.
It's gotten people coming from LA and hitting you up that everybody's, wait, I know that girl. And you're like, yeah, she hit me up. It was like, hey, can we hang out? And I was like, sorry, what? You said that girl's name? And you're like, yeah. Anyway, so stuff like that, I think
so
is just
tender.
super Marla. You attract people that other people like look up to and are their role models. I think you just make everybody brighter around you, which is awesome.
That is so nice.
And so it's hard to talk mainly about the business without, I think, talking about your personality and your name. So I think it makes sense that it's named Marla
Yeah, I'm reading
Catherine.
these questions now and I'm saying that. Okay.
What I'd like to do is hear your elevator pitch of what it is that you do.
Sheesh, I don't know if I've ever given an elevator pitch, but I can do it.
Pretend
This will
like-
be the first time. Okay, so if I just met you on an elevator and I had to tell you what my life story is, that's pretty much what
I'm
that
just
is.
like, yeah, Marla, I heard your name before. Tell me what you do. It's that, but
Okay. So
No
my
pressure.
name is Marla, but a lot of people know me as Marla Catherine. It's my middle name. But I started a YouTube channel with my older sister, Evelyn, when I was 12. She was 20. She just loved video editing, and she tried doing a YouTube channel herself, but she said that she just hated filming. She hated the filming aspect, but she loved the editing. So I kind of became the guinea pig, but I felt like we're very compatible working together. I was 12, I was so young, but it just felt like a lot of fun hanging out.
yeah.
Anyway, so from there, that was 2015, July, so it's been literally a decade.
Yeah.
Almost. I feel like an old hoagie. But we just started creating content. And the thing that worked so well with my sister Evelyn and I is, once again, I feel like she had all the business idea. She knew what direction she wanted to take it. And I like to talk. Like, I will talk anyone's ear off. And so I feel like for filming, for me, it didn't feel very awkward or unusual. Like, it was just now, she was like, now we're just talking to an audience, an online audience that was very non-existent in the beginning. But I was just like having fun with her.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we continued making these videos, and then they started to gain traction when it was very gradual at first. I think it was good growth in the beginning, considering like what social media was at the time. But
Can you define, what good growth looked like?
Yeah, well, so I started when I was 12, and by 2016, so about a year later from where we had started, we had accumulated about 10,000 subscribers. Okay. And from the beginning of when we started social media, we had already done multi-platforms. We did Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah.
Once again, that's my sister was just, we need to diversify our accounts.
Yeah.
See, whatever.
The more you talk about Evelyn, the more I'm like,
Evelyn was such the brains. She needs
she's
to be
amazing.
here. My sister lives in Indiana. Otherwise, I would say get her booty over here. Mm-hmm. So we started recording and then hit about 10,000 subscribers. And then the year later, we got 100,000. So we started multiplying it.
That's crazy.
The next year was 500,000. And then within, I think that same year, we hit 1 million. It started just that snowball effect. So it was about from 0 to 5 years, we really grew. And that's where the most intense growth happened.
Yeah.
But a lot of that audience, I think, was attracted because there was this element of, I don't want to say comfortability, but because I was filming with my sister all the time, I was very goofy on camera. And she was so funny because she would always edit herself out of the videos. So it literally just looks like I'm kind of psycho. Oh, if you just go back and watch old videos, I seem like I'm off the walls, funny, crazy, weird, whatever. But I was just in reality joking around with my sister, but she would cut herself out. So in these videos, it just seems like I'm very silly. And I think that definitely attracted an audience. I am LDS. And so I do feel like that also eventually started to gain attention of the LDS community here in Utah starting and further out than Utah. And then on top of that, the biggest series that I think really took off the channel was our thrifting series. My family would not grow up with any really real money or anything. We lived in a small town home, the 7 of us. It was pretty packed. And so very often we'd go back to school shopping at the thrift stores. I despised. I thought it smelled so crusty.
It does.
It does. When you look at it.
I
like,
also did that.
And it's very common. But for some reason, I felt, even as literally an 11-year-old, I felt a lot of shame because I was like, oh, we're not going to the fun stores, whatever. But my older sister, Evelyn, once again, I feel like I definitely worshipped her in a way growing up because it's just anything your older siblings do. I just felt it was so cool. Anyway, but she would wear these fun outfits or whatever. And I'd be like, wait, Evelyn, like, where did you buy that? And she's like, Marla, I got it thrifting, but you were too busy complaining that you didn't even look. And I was like, sheesh. So anyway, I started actually enjoying thrifting from that kind of point on. And then that's when I saw another YouTuber. He's actually, do you know who Conan Gray is?
Yeah.
So he's a music artist now, but he started on YouTube.
Oh,
and
I knew him as the music artist, not as a YouTuber.
Yeah, he started on YouTube. And I literally loved his channel. He made the most fun. He made a lot of, he would sing occasionally on there too, but he made a lot of very soothing thrifting videos. And that's when I was like, Evelyn and I, we should go film our own thrift because I thrift all the time.
Did her jaw drop when you said that? Or by that
No,
time, you
not-
like chill with the thrifting?
Oh, no, by then I had enjoyed thrifting.
Okay.
Pre-YouTube. This was over the years in the making of
Okay.
me softening my heart. But so we went and filmed the thrifting. And I think that was, once again, a very fun video to film. It was us just shopping. It was at the local D in Springville, if you know where that is. But we then uploaded that, and that I think was one of our first videos that got 1 million views.
Okay.
And for us, that's huge now. But on YouTube, that was insane. And so that is when we're like, sheesh, people like this. So from there, we just started evolving with kind of these thrifting series, these modest fashion videos. And I will say another element was that all of our videos were very family friendly, very clean. It was clean content. I think sometimes I get messages from parents being like, I love that my daughter watches you. And I feel uncomfortable with anyone thinking of me as a role model because I'm very imperfect. But I do feel getting those messages was comforting. And I was like, oh, that is nice because the parents felt comfortable having their kids watch my channel and without worrying what type of content was going to be on there.
Yeah.
So I think that was a big driving factor as well. But anyway, so that's that. But I feel one of the biggest things about social media that I have enjoyed is I think because I never really had the idea to start social media myself, I don't really feel I've ever been super invested in the presence of having an online presence. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel detached from it. I'm so grateful for it, but I don't feel like it runs my life or it's something that's constantly on my brain space.
100%.
And I think that probably helps with feeling a little bit more authentic online is that it's not really a numbers game for me. Unless obviously there's brand aspects in business if you need to have good analytics for that, but to pay the bills. But I do feel in general like it really just feels like a really fun community online, which is awesome. So
that is so pure. I love that.
Thanks.
One of the people I reached out to was my brother's girlfriend, Cameron.
Okay.
So I reached out to Cameron.
Okay.
I told you the story, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm just going to repeat it on there if
tell
that's
us.
cool. So my family is divorced, and I don't know like my step-parents' sides of the families as well. My parents, my dad and my stepmom got married right before I left on my mission, and I got to know my stepmom pretty well. I really love her. But my step brothers, only one of them was able to come to the wedding, and we got really tight. But then when I went and lived with my dad and my stepmom the last part of my senior year because things were so hot at home, that stepbrother and I had one time where we were just going out having fun, and I won't go into the details. Basically, like he didn't do anything wrong. It was just immature, joking around and stuff. But I got lost like day 2 in this new place I've never lived in it before. And I eventually found my way home. But when I got back, my stepmom's like, where's your brother? And I was like, I don't know. And
Okay.
But like I have his number. So I think there was an element of me just being really mad that he had abandoned me in this place I didn't know and I could get home. But I didn't throw him under the bus, but I will tell you that like my stepmom was pretty hard on him after that. Like you shouldn't have left Brighton. Like he was there to have fun with you and your friends. And I've never seen her go hard on him ever since actually, as hard as she did that day.
Interesting.
But yeah, after that, like the relationship just wasn't the same.
Okay.
And I felt really bad because I almost feel like I should have advocated for him more. But regardless, there's a element of the relationship there that was existent and then wasn't existent.
Yeah.
So that brother is the one who has the girlfriend who knows you. And so I just posted something on my story with you. I don't know what we were doing. We were just having fun. Maybe it was Easter at your parents'
We'd
house
go
or
get
something.
brunch at Denny's or something.
Yeah. And at that time, I did know that you had a small following on Instagram. But what I didn't know is that it was outside of the LDS community. Because at that point, I think my sister had been like, oh, yeah, I know Marla or whatever. But yeah, so when Cameron reached out to me and was like, Marla? I was like, yeah. And then when we went on this cruise, I want to get to know my brother better. And anybody he loves, I want to love as well. And it was a really good point of communication and connection that we were able to have because she's followed you for years. And she was one of the sources that I asked and said, what are the things about Marla that keep you engaged with her and got you engaged with her to begin with?
Interesting.
And her...
Oh, no.
I'm just going to read some of what she said. She's like, oh, yeah, I've been following her since I was in high school, about 2017. So she was one of those first 100,000, it sounds like. Because it was 10, then 100, then...
Actually, yeah, she's probably somewhere in between, probably the 300,000-400,000 range.
Okay.
It started picking up a lot more.
Okay. And then she said, I have never heard of some of these people, but she's like, yeah, I first discovered her when she was hanging around Emma Chamberlain.
Uh-huh.
And as I watched Emma religiously at the time, that's when they both had a brand deal with, is it Dote or Dote or...
Yeah, it's dope. That brand does not exist anymore, but at the time it was dope. Yeah.
And then she goes, Marla stood out to me because of her sense of style and fashion.
Okay.
Maybe it's the thrifting thing. Let's keep reading. She's always been a super modest creator compared to Emma. I really like that about her. She never really stuck to the norm or a trend regarding clothes, but yet she always dressed, this is a quote, flawlessly.
Oh gosh. I don't think so. My outfits were flawless, but that is very sweet of her.
And then she finishes saying she was the first clean girl, in my opinion. Beautiful makeup, beautiful hair, clothes are on point. And then this next part, she goes, when she was struggling with her Accutane / acne journey,
Acne
which
journey.
I was like 1 or 2 months ahead of you
We
on it,
were
right?
literally on the acne journey together.
No, I was
that.
like, I have chapstick for you. You have
It's
chapstick
like, I have
for me.
Vaseline to do.
Actually, you did give me
No,
Vaseline.
literally.
Multiple. And then you told me like the doctor, what is
It's the cortisone
Yeah.
chapstick. It was the only thing that worked for me.
So good.
So, anyway.
Yeah, she goes, when I saw that journey, it just solidified the fact that she's a human just as I am. I always envied her and how pretty she is. I just think it made her more real to talk about beauty and standards and such. I follow quite a bit of creators now, ranging from Marla to Tana Mangu.
Tana Mojo.
Mojo.
Monjo.
Monjo?
Yeah, she's funny. I liked him.
And she goes, they're on opposite sides of the spectrum, lol. And
Yeah.
then she goes, I would say in 4 words who she is: genuine, beautiful, funny as F.
That is so sweet. Thanks, Cameron. Okay, something I want to quickly touch on that she said, and this is just me clarifying. She compared me to Emma Chamberlain and how I dress a lot more modestly. I think something that I definitely have evolved in just as growing up, because once again, I did start this channel when I was very young. My definition of modesty, I feel, has evolved over the years and with my relationship with Jesus Christ and with God, because I feel like modesty to me means a lot more about, even with the evolving of the garment changes too.
Yeah.
If you're comfortable talking about this on the podcast, but I do feel like to
Wait,
me,
can I clarify really fast what
Yeah.
that is? So in the LDS faith, one of the things that we have is we make promises with God in the temple. And as a reminder of those promises, we have clothing that we wear underneath our clothes. You've probably seen, I know you have, Marla, maybe our listeners have seen stuff. It's gone crazy. Like, it's been on
Yeah.
porn.
It's been on
like
everything.
sensationalized. But it used to be, they have had style changes, but it's been very few. They used to be like long john, like style all over.
Literally
They
down to
still
the
have
ankles.
those. Yeah, my
Yeah.
grandpa still has
Yep.
those little flaps. Anyway, I was like, it's crazy that they used to do that. And then they've now had a 2-piece. And then I don't know if you know this, but over the past three or 4-ish years, they used to have only men on the councils that decided like the fashion for the garments. And they started now having women on these councils. This includes, by the way, for the women's design.
Yeah.
And then they put women on the councils, and I've heard that they've changed some of the structure in terms of like where seams are, so it's more comfortable.
No, that I have talked about this with my older brother before, but I'm just like, I love the gospel. I believe the gospel is true. I do think that there's going to be so many. We're an ongoing a church of restoration where there's ongoing truth, and so there's going to be new things and new changes. And that doesn't provide any doubt to me in my faith, but I think something with the garment changing, even in having shorter shoulder seams or whatever it may be, I think to me, just before this even happened, but I do feel like modesty is a lot more about of a mindset and your intentions with the clothing that you're wearing and your representation in front of God and how you treat your body. So I think modesty is a lot more about your attitude and a lot less about the hem of your clothing. But anyway, with that being said, Emma Chamberlain's incredible in her own content creation too, and the way she dresses too, love her style. But I do feel like that was a huge growth aspect for me, is because I would very much adhere to the standards that I had for my own personal modesty standards, which happened to be more conservative dress. And I think that did attract a lot of audiences because it was unusual. Because have you heard of Coachella?
Yeah.
So I went to Coachella when I was 15.
No way. Are you serious?
I don't know who let me there. That was so crazy. But
Sorry, was this also with Evelyn?
yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Like literally we have so many weird stories. I'm like, I don't know how I got there. What I was doing there, I was such a baby. But anyway, I was at Coachella, and mind you, I did not start wearing garments until 2021. So it's been like 4 years, but I still very much dress modestly. And so like at Coachella, it's very popular it's hot. So I understand why people wear what they wear. But I was like wearing like my long dresses and I wear a jumpsuit, but I was genuinely like just going for more comfort. But I remember that being like a hot topic at the time, is like what I was wearing and how like modest it was considering the nature of the festival.
Totally.
But I think that attracted a lot of audiences that almost have just similar dressing standards. And I think that was something that was a lot less common online. It's a lot more common now. There's a lot more different fashion content creators, but I think at the time it was less common. And so for me, like I enjoyed making that content because it appealed to an audience that didn't have much of that content online already. So anyway.
Yeah.
So those fashion videos were always so fun for me. My sister and I would film lookbooks, which would just be 5 different outfit ideas inspired by the 80s or inspired by the 90s or whatever.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite videos to film. And so anyway, I'm excited because I'll get a singer next week and hopefully we can make more content because it's so much harder to make content alone. But anyway.
That's so cool. I knew from what we had talked about before that Evelyn was in charge of, I think I understood she was like the business.
Yeah,
brain
she was
behind
the brains. I don't want to say it was the beauty because that is so vain, but
Evelyn is beautiful.
Evelyn is so stunning, so gorgeous, but she was definitely the mastermind behind the operation and was like that for years. She was carrying everything essentially. I was just showing up and talking in front of the camera. But it was as I got older, we delegated a lot of the business side. And now I would say I'm for doing most of it now because she's starting her family. She's Indiana. And hopefully I'm old enough to be able to handle that on my own now. But I do most of that now. And she just edits YouTube videos occasionally and kind of acts more of just to support like an assistant almost. Yeah. But anyway, seeing that though, I really commend her because it wouldn't be where it is now if it wasn't for her. So
I love that. I just understood that she was doing the accounting. Literally, I just thought she did the books.
No, we got an accountant probably when a CPA, when we were like 2018. Because when you start making real money off of something you didn't know you could make money off of, you get taxed.
You would have been 15 at the time?
Yeah, it was weird.
Wow. Because I'm just picturing being a CPA.
And being like, why is this little dweeb sitting in my chair?
How old is Evelyn? Much older than Evelyn than you?
She's 8 years older.
Okay, so she's 23. Okay, so that's still...
Still young, though.
I've never been a CPA. Yeah, but I feel like...
I'll talk about numbers if you want to hear numbers on here. I never just want it to come off as weird, but that is something that I think was so foreign to us. It was very foreign, especially coming from a background where our family didn't make a lot of money. It was like, what is going on? And this was so young. But anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just can. I'm trying to imagine being the CPA and like a 23-year-old. I don't know if you were in the conversation too, but maybe a 23
I
and
would
15-year-old just come down.
but I had no clue what's going on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So. Did you guys ever film a video like that or no?
Film a video like that?
Yeah, like you guys meeting with the CPA
Oh,
where
no.
you're just, I have no clue what's going on.
No, because I honestly will say I wish I was more involved with the financial process, but I think because I started making a very substantial amount of money at a very young age, I don't feel like I even had a concept of the amount of money we were making. Because I had nothing to compare it to. I never even had a real quote unquote traditional job. I'd never worked so I ended up working as a cashier and doing random odd end jobs. And I feel like that really did help with a perspective shift. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like the whole money aspect was not even overwhelming to me because I didn't know any different. I was like, oh, it's normal for someone to make a 6-figure salary in one sponsorship post. I was like, that's normal. But no, it was not. Anyway.
That's crazy.
I know.
I want to hear a little bit more actually about now that Evelyn has become almost more of an advisor.
Yeah, I would say she's still very much involved, but she's fulfilled. So we have a management company, but Evelyn's kind of the middleman. So often she's the one that's communicating with management. I'm on all the calls, obviously, very involved too. Yeah. But she is the one that kind of scheduling things, acting kind of like that assistant almost. Anyway.
So I want you to picture for a second, never having created a video. Before. Okay. That's how most of your listeners come from. Just from the people that I've talked about. This is totally an availability heuristic. You might have everybody actually is a creator that follows you. Is it safe to say that most people aren't that follow you?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. I know for a fact that I would not be doing content creation at all if Evelyn didn't have the idea. I'd probably be too intimidated to start.
Really?
Just because it feels very vulnerable to film yourself and then upload it for literally anyone to see when it's you showing your get ready with me in the morning or whatever. And so I think the part of the reason why I'm only comfortable with it now is because I've already been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
But the beautiful thing about today's social media industry is literally anyone can do it. Yeah. Anyone can get started. Before, definitely I think it was a lot more, you need the equipment, you need to get started, you need an editing software. You can do it with your phone now.
Could you step into what people should do with their phone now?
If I had never ever posted a video and I wanted to become a content creator, the first thing I would do is create a username that is very clear and represents you.
Okay.
So I would play it safe, do your first and middle name. I feel like that is really good.
Love channels like that.
We love it. It's just very identifiable because say you start your username as like kitty cat lover or whatever. That sounds really weird. But
it's actually my gamer tag.
So actually that was my Minecraft username used to be Nutella Juice. I'm like, who came up with that?
Is that real?
Yeah, it was literally Nutella Juice. I'm like, Nutella, where did that come from? Anyway, but eventually if you do blow up or you do have this brand, it's going to be, I think you're going to want to eventually transition it to your own name. So it's just easy to just get it started by doing that. So I'd create a username and I'd create an account on TikTok, a fresh account, not your personal account you post about your family or whatever. I would, unless you want it to be that, but create a fresh account on TikTok and on Instagram. I would start on those platforms. TikTok is the most algorithm friendly where it's easier to get a viral video.
Okay.
But Instagram, for me personally, is the most lucrative. That's where I get the most sponsorships because I feel like there's a lot more people interested in buying things on the Instagram app. TikTok is really good for just exposure, though.
Does TikTok have a setup where you could get sponsorship and receive
100%,
payment for that too? Okay.
But me personally, I get my highest paying sponsors on YouTube and Instagram. Because here's the thing. You can get a 1 million view TikTok on one video, but that does not mean it's really going to convert to followers. Yeah. Because people are just scrolling every 2 seconds. Instagram is a little bit more where there's like photos and long form content and reels. And anyway, I just feel like sponsors are more gravitating towards Instagram. But for getting started, definitely TikTok. So then I would make sure, obviously, any phone really works. Having a newer phone probably is better for better camera quality. But I would film with your back camera if you're able. Film videos that really represent you and are true to you. But in the beginning, I highly recommend following the trends because that is what the algorithm is going to post or they're going to push. So I would just get started by making get to know you videos, be authentic to yourself, tell story times, find whatever your niche is, and then follow the trends until that starts getting you to start picking up. So trending audios, trending sounds, like whatever it may be. But I get started with that. And then something too is the quality of your content. They say quality. People I feel like online used to give advice of post. I don't feel like that's the best advice because if you're posting crappy content, like who cares? I'd rather see 2 really good quality videos that you feel like you're proud of versus 10 really lame videos that really don't provide any substance to anyone.
Yeah. And sorry, I'm gonna get a little bit more into the details there for that. Earlier when Marla gave me instruction on here's how I would hold your phone or here's like the settings. So we had my phone on 4K, right?
Yeah, I did the 4K setting, and then depending on what phone you have, like mine goes up to 60 frames per second. Yours does 30, so I just do the 4K and 30. Sorry, I'm like condemning your phone. I'm like, sorry, it's not as good as mine.
Like, I'm like, I have a 14 Pro, and she's like, I'm just guessing that your phone came out in the past 2 years.
So I'm just guessing you have an old phone, right? No, but whatever the highest quality. So I usually do 4K and then a higher frame rate, just because it's going to be better for video quality. And then get an editing software. TikTok does an app, and that's what I do, but TikTok also we never know if it's going to stick around or not. So there's apps like CapCut or just different editing softwares.
Can I make a quick plug really fast?
Yeah.
So one of the things I think is totally underutilized by university students, I'm just going to generalize at BYU for a second.
Yeah.
For example, we came to this podcast studio, right, at BYU. Did you know this existed?
I did not know this existed
They
at
have
all.
computers out over there that are like double monitor, Apple. They have all of the Adobe suite already downloaded, which is great. Let's say you can't come to campus, you're in LA like me.
Yeah.
Literally just Googling BYU and then the software that I'm looking for, they always have it either free or severe discount. So
yeah, if you are a student, that is so. I'm sure that's common for other universities as well. So.
And so compared to the UK where things, like I was pulling out my student card all the time at the UK for discounts, America isn't as much like that. But this, I think you're right, is totally consistent with like different university programs. And I don't think students know enough about this.
Yeah.
And I advocated my second year here that they add that into the new student orientation, digging down into what the actual resources are. Because the whole point of this podcast is to unveil the steps to take the drop, what you're excited for.
It's true.
And if it involves like technology or content, if you have CapCut and that works for you, great. Yeah. If you want to step up or look at other things, like
I think it also depends because if you want your content to be a lot higher quality, then 100% like get onto those softwares. But I think for just starting out, because it can be overwhelming, is just start out with the TikTok editing software, just finagle with it, play with it, figuring it out, and that is a wonderful place to start.
Okay.
But though it's so true, utilize your resources. Also, another step I would say is go in and find other content creators that are slightly bigger than you.
Okay.
Not a macro size creator where it's obvious some people just don't respond to DMs. I try my best to respond as much as I can. But when Evelyn and I were starting out, I would go find other content creators that only had 1,000 more followers or something. I'd DM them, ask for advice, or I would say, hey, do you want to collab? Which back in the day was a huge thing, and you can still do it now, but we'd make content together. And I think that was so huge, was just building a community of the people around you, because it's going to be so much easier to brave the social media starting point if you have other people around you that are in a similar boat.
My soul just resonated when you said that.
Like that?
I was like, whoa.
Because I feel that is part of the thing, because maybe in real life there's not other people that are making content creation, so you go a little isolated in that. But online, there's 100% a community. You just got to go find it. So go seek it out. But yeah, I'm making also interactive content that resonates with other people. One time I heard a quote and they're like, every time you post, you should be selling someone something. Absolutely awful. We're not a commercial walking ad. Like that is going to get real boring real quick. But
and now word from our sponsors.
No, and now word from eventually, you got to make money. But I would say is more so your focus should be every time you post something, you should be providing those substance, whether that's a form of entertainment, it's a tip, it's funny, and maybe you are selling. When I say sell, that means sharing your favorite pants. Yeah. That's another thing too, is not only did I do a lot of modest fashion content, but I also did a lot of affordable fashion content. I've never been super big into name brands or designer or whatever. And so even today, that's one of my highest paying revenue sources, is when I would link a shirt that was on sale.
Okay.
Anyway, but finding something where every time I'm posting, even asking myself as a viewer, why is this interesting? Yeah. And so that is something too, to just ask yourself and keep in mind with your content. But yeah, that will just naturally happen though as you continue to post. You just find that, oh, I actually really like humorous content or whatever it may be.
Oh, bless you.
Leg.
No, please take a drink of your Dirty Dr. Pepper right there. Oh, sorry. Is that a sponsored post?
Oh, sorry. So let me sell you on my Dirty Dr. Pepper.
Brock is such a plug. I want to have an experience with this.
Yeah, this has been awesome.
Thank you.
I would come do this again. I'll be a co-host.
I would. Don't tempt me, Marla.
I'm serious. This is so fun.
Is this a permanent collab?
Just every single
love
Tuesday
that
or
idea.
something. But yeah.
I'm actually not opposed, by the way, to that at all.
Okay.
Now I got distracted for a second. 'Cause now my mind's going,
You're talking about swig, I think.
permanent co-host.
You're wanting to make this an experience.
So yeah, when I did HEFY as a trip leader, they have you in the trip leader training go through the exact same experience in terms of personalization that they want you to give to the kids. And I got tons of ideas of how to do it. So I literally just sent Brock some of the questions that they sent me, including what are your favorite drinks?
Okay.
And he just told me that. And so yeah, I would love to make it a little bit more personalized. So it really is an experience for people.
Yeah.
And this is so bad. I like going over the top. I had this date the other day where
Over the top is so fun. We need more of that in society. Go over the top. It's so fun.
Thank you.
So
I totally
you're
agree.
in a safe space right now.
Thank you. I really appreciate
Tell
that.
me about it.
Yeah, so this date was awesome. So we were going to go to an Italian restaurant.
Okay.
I just moved to LA.
Okay.
I sold my car so that I could have money on the back. Oh yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, so I sold my car in order to go because.
Do you need a ride to the airport when you go back? Because I actually will literally.
Are you serious?
100%.
Are you gonna be back though? Because I fly back. No, I don't think you'll be here because I fly back on the Saturday immediately after graduation.
I won't be here, but Brock will. I will volunteer Brock.
Thank you.
I'm so serious. If you need
You're
a ride,
so
let us know.
generous. Thank you.
Okay.
That would be awesome. I'll definitely take Brock up on it then. He's so generous for offering.
So generous.
See, this is what marriage is, people. It's like doubling your availability.
Like, oh yeah, we got 2 schedules to work with. No, I'm serious. If you need a ride, let us know.
Thank you so much. Anyway, so we were just going to go eat at an Italian restaurant. It was maybe going to be like $30 per person, $40.
Okay.
I had just gone on a date to the most expensive place. Have you ever heard of Erewhon? You know it?
My gosh, it's a grocery store.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you're on any form of LA social media, you know about it.
Oh, so awkward 'cause I did not know about it.
No, you're fine. Yeah, no, but Erewhon is just it. People think it's a social experiment because it literally is just a grocery store and they have outrageous prices. If you've never heard of it, like I've been there, I've eaten there. Only on a business expense there.
Okay.
No, like I would never pay for that out of my personal money. But literally, Evelyn and I ate there. It was, I think, close to $85. And it was just a little simple meal.
Insane.
It's a lunch
Yeah.
for the both of us. Anyway, but
So I cooked and I made these Italian sodas and it was awesome.
Yum.
And so we still ate Italian,
Okay.
but I cooked and anyway, it was just super fun. And
I'm sure that was much more of an experience too.
it was.
So,
And it was fun to like, favorite drink was or pasta and we made it a little bit more
100%.
personalized. But something like that would be super fun to get to know someone a little bit more.
and podcast.
Yeah, and then give them not a personal Italian soda, maybe something more on brand with the idea of surfing or the drop. But
Yeah.
so Swig was, I'm sorry, Marla.
It's a
Swig was the best I
start.
could do.
Stop. Do not apologize ever. That was so delicious. I'm going to drink that all.
How far have you
Good
gone with it? It
I
looks
haven't
like it's still
gone-
pretty full.
I haven't gone super far
I
because I'm
can
distracted.
literally see that it's like at the first rim. Okay. No, this is good. It just means
It'll
that-
be gone. Okay.
Okay.
Don't you worry.
I want to come back to what you said earlier, which was finding your niche. Because I feel like,
Yeah.
so for someone who's not a content creator,
You will be.
I know,
You are
as
right
I,
now. You
as I say that, I'm like, the camera is
Cameras
on.
are recording. We're on mic time.
Okay.
No,
As someone
you are.
who's not a content poster yet,
Okay.
because I guess technically we are
You're creating it, though.
To me, I've heard what is find your niche and thought,
Mm-hmm.
ooh. And in business, it's the same thing. They use that same word. Finding a good business that solves a problem to be done that's unique.
Okay.
But from my perspective, there are so many different content creators out there that are really successful that use the same flavor of content creation. So an idea of a flavor would be get ready
Fashion
with
or
me.
whatever.
Or
Yeah.
fashion or 30. You're not the only person that's done
No,
that.
not
But
at all.
Cameron did a good job, I think, of speaking to your interesting combination of these different factors.
Yeah. My first thing that comes to mind is no one in the world is Brighton Lucas, and no one in the world is Marla Catherine. My last name is Smiley, which is so fun. But
I
Marla
love
Smiley.
that.
I know. But that is my first thing that comes to mind is to remember when you're trying to think of a niche to have. No one can replace who you are. Like someone can imitate you online, whatever. They're a weirdo. But ultimately,
I just got a content idea. That's crazy.
oh, no, but ultimately, I would create content, find your niche, which could be sports commentating or fashion or whatever it may be. But ultimately, let your personality shine through that.
Yeah.
You don't need to fit in a mold that someone told you how to fit into because it's just whatever you feel is showing up authentically for yourself. I personally don't follow any creators specifically because they just post about fashion. I most of the time follow them because I just like them. I like their personality. They seem fun or they seem like I'd be friends with in real life.
Totally.
So that's usually why I hit the follow button on someone. And often that does manifest though in your content, because if it's authentic to you to be very artsy and to have a curated feed and it's very aesthetic to look at, that is part of who you are. And so then that is an appeal too. But I would say there's actually a feature on Instagram. It's new. It's called Instagram Trials. So I just realized it's still on trial mode for Instagram. So it's only to certain accounts. Or it might be if you're a business account. Are you a business account? So I would either finagle, try to figure out if it's for business accounts, but it probably will eventually be a universal feature for everyone. Yeah, but they call it trial reels.
Okay, I'm gonna just ask ChatGPT really fast.
Yeah, just say is trial reels.
What am I asking?
Is trial reels available for the general public?
Is trial reels available for the general public on Instagram? All right, let's see what she says.
ChatGPT is my husband's best friend.
Oh, I thought you were just gonna say your husband, period. I was like, whoa. I love Brock. That makes sense. Okay, it says Instagram's trial reels is only available to users with professional accounts. So, creator or business.
But anyone can create a professional account.
But I love that idea of being able to test different content or media with general public. If in terms of you're trying to see growth, who isn't?
100%. And so I guess I would create a business account when you do create your account. It literally is just a different mode.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then you'll have that access to that feature, and honestly, it's so nice because it's once again so much less scary when you're posting to random strangers than actual friends.
Really? Because to some people, I feel like
it could be reversed for some people. To me, I don't give a care if random strangers see, but I'm way more nervous if it's my close friends and family.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go through really fast and talk about one more time. What would you say the steps are if you were someone, now with your knowledge essentially, stepping back? You said, and stop me if I forget something, okay? Yep. First is you have a phone, right? Okay. Second is you create an Instagram you know what? I'm just gonna have you walk through the steps because you're gonna say it a lot better than me.
No, you're just fine. I make sure you have your phone, create an Instagram profile and a TikTok profile. So those are the two apps I would get started on. I'd even think of creating a separate business email, detached from your personal if you really plan on this becoming a business. And then create a username that is general. Very great if it's just your name, or it's as similar to your name as you can get if it's taken already on Instagram. Then from there, I'd start filming content in the highest quality you can, which is usually going to be with your back camera on the highest mode of 4K or even in 60 frames per second or 30. And then just always try to have the best lighting you can. Now, if I were really getting serious with this, I'd really even go buy a personal tripod on Amazon and even one of those lights. I feel like it really can improve.
The bright O-ring lights?
No, I don't have an O-ring one. Mine's $13. It's a little square. Okay. A little square that attaches to your phone. It really can help with the just quality of your videos.
Awesome.
Lighting.
So what would you say the price-wise we're probably at for those things?
Probably $30 total for
That's
both
amazing.
of those. But they really make such a difference in your content. Focus on quality and then start posting. Your first video should be a get-to-know you video. It's probably going to get 2 views, but you need to establish a base of who you are and what you're going to provide. And then start posting content from there. I know that sounds so dumb, but make sure you're scrolling on social media and seeing what the current trends are, especially when you're getting started. Yeah. And it's soon. The sliver of you think there's going to be a trend, get on it as soon as you can, because then you're going to get the most views. If you get into a trend, even 2 days later from when it started, you're probably not going to get as many good views.
Can I ask you a question? Let's say my niche is fashion. I'm like, okay. And I would go as far as say, assume that someone's personal Instagram account already has the trends that they like and will see the things that maybe feel natural to them to do. But now they have a new Instagram account. They're scrolling maybe on their old one or their new one, trying to get the things that resonate with them. Yeah. For let's say that someone has a podcast channel that is similar to has tie-ins to like surfing, has tie-ins to the up and coming creators. Exactly, never heard of it. How would someone in that situation where they think their thing is a little bit more niche find something that is now aligned to the trend? What would you say would be could be a trend that I or someone in this scenario could say, oh, that's a trend for my type?
So there's really every trend can be personalized to yours.
Okay.
Like whatever
Love
you're
that.
doing. Like always, you can always even do your own takes on the trend. Like it doesn't have to be verbatim. Okay. For example, there's this one with an audio and it's like an old video of them and then it'll be like, little does she know or little does he know that like he'll start a podcast in 2 years or fulfill his dreams in 2 years or something where like it becomes relevant to you, but it's with the trending audio and it was posted as soon as you possibly could. So once again, get creative with it. Whatever trend it is, just make it relevant to yourself. Or there was that whole trend of, it was 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and they were showing like different photos of themselves. Yeah. Even if that's not like super niche to your content, that would be showing you. Yeah. And I'd get to know you a little bit more, and I'd see what you look like over the years.
That's awesome.
So just things like that.
I love that.
Don't overthink it.
Okay, so maybe that step is don't find things that maybe are really obvious to your space, but maybe get a little bit more of an open perspective and saying, listen, this is something I am part of the brand, part of the channel. So showcasing, if I don't find anything that's, something that's repurposed
Yeah.
for me or for this is another good example of would be hopping onto a trend or good content.
That, and then something that just came to mind too is making your branding as clear as possible. Back in the day when my sister Evelyn and I were blowing up, one of the most common things recognizable is I would always wear a yellow backpack. It was called a Fjallraven Kanken box.
Totally seen what you're talking about. Yeah, I did not know that's how it's pronounced.
No, I'm probably even slaughtering that, but I wore that backpack. I hadn't ever really seen it before. I saw it on one other girl that had like a smaller following, and I was, oh, that's so cute. So I got a yellow version of the backpack, and I was in the 9th grade. I would wear it all the time, and I would post about it all the time in my content. That became very recognizable for the audience. When they saw a yellow backpack, they often thought, oh, that's Marla.
Yeah.
So I'd wear checkered pants and my yellow backpack. It was very 2019 aesthetic, but it was very recognizable. And I think same with, even if you're starting a podcast branding, connect with your local surf community, connect with other podcasters in the area, and then create a logo. If blue is going to be the color. There's a podcast called What We Said Podcast I listen to. They're just 2 girls, but they have very distinct blue and pink branding. Yeah. So often when you say blue and pink, you're like, oh, it reminds me of What We Said.
Yeah.
So for the drop, if yours is a wave logo, make it very distinct to you and reuse, make people annoyed by that content because you're posting about it so much. That is something that I will say too, is for me, sometimes I feel weird when I'm making my 200th Get Ready With Me.
I didn't even think about that, yeah.
But you have to remember that even though you've seen it 200 times, 200 different versions of the same video, that might be someone's first video they ever see from you.
Totally.
So they're not going to be annoyed by it, because maybe you are, but that's their first video that they've seen from you. So yeah, if people are annoyed by you, also they can unfollow, but be annoying in your content. Post as much quality content as you possibly can and be an advocate for yourself, because no one else is going to be.
Totally.
So anyway.
I got in a bus fight one time where I got almost written up in 5th grade because I was being annoying.
Okay.
And I share that because I just had this eureka moment. When you talk about annoying, I almost hear you say confident.
Yeah, that is what I mean by annoying, not actually being intentionally trying to peeve people, but post those Get Ready With Me's, post your 5,000th outfit of the day video, because you just never know which one randomly the algorithm favors and it blows up. And from there, if you also, another thing is to watch for patterns. If you notice that your outfit of the day's videos do better, then post more of those.
Totally.
But yeah, it might be annoying. Be an advocate for yourself. Brock and I have talked about that a lot too, even in his job, and this is even just in any work field. His boss is telling him, you need to be your own advocate because no one else is going to care about your career more than you.
Totally.
And same with social media. No one is going to care about your page more than you. And so when it comes to growing it, be annoying. Post as much as you need to. Post those videos that if other people think it's cringe, that's a them issue.
Yeah.
They can deal with that. Maybe they haven't accepted their own inner cringe.
Totally.
But anyway.
No, I love that. There's a girl that I texted that responded positively. Her name is Octavia de Marie, I think.
Cool name.
I think it's French. I'll have to ask her, but I think she responded positively when I asked her to be on. I think she's a great example at being confident, being persistent. Yeah. She was doing the UVU sandbox this past year, and they have like certain checkpoints they did by the end of the year. Okay. And they're always changing it a little bit to figure out the best way to do it. Basically,
what is the UVU sandbox?
Have you heard of Sandbox at BYU either? Brock might have told you. Okay. It's a BYU tech startup incubator. Okay. It started here. And then this past year, maybe the year before that, they combined with UV Sandbox. Okay. And this is being sponsored and pushed by the big entrepreneurs inside Utah Valley to really create this area as like the Silicon Slopes.
Like an incentive to create those.
As an incentive, yes. It's more of like they see Silicon Valley and want to have that here in Utah, which is why you might have you heard of Silicon Slopes? Yeah, Brock works there, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
This is what I'm seeing. They actually want to create like a pipeline for BYU and UVU for these not content creators but young creators in terms of like tech companies and facilitate them within this bubble. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that makes sense. Like you can invite people that are already creating here, or the universities that have great ideas and great work, get those people to stay. Totally. And so they have this whole, it's super cool. They have this whole hub right outside of Alpine Village. Okay, that is awesome. Octavia is awesome because it's hard checkpoints. It's hard questions to ask about your industry, what your product is, what's the pain you're actually trying to solve. Yeah. Octavia and her team, Octavia and Kiara, they're 2 co-founders. They went through and had all of that, the May checkpoints completed by August, which is insane. Okay. Because most students didn't even figure out their teams until after August. But she was consistently told.
Very driven.
Totally. And I'll let her tell her story, but basically my takeaway from what she was telling me was she was told to stick to not just the checkpoints, also the timing of it, to not move too fast. But she is so driven. And I would say that drive, that confidence, it's a little bit intimidating, but 100% would be someone who, if she was in the content creating space, I could see her in a spot where she cares about her page, like you were saying.
Something to remember too is that there's always room for you in your space. I think sometimes people feel social media is very oversaturated and that there's already a million accounts, there's already a million influencers. Why else would we add another one? But you have to remember that there's always going to be new people coming up, whether it's you or someone else, and there's always plenty of space for you to come create your account, provide new content. And I was saying earlier, follow the trends, but that's something just great to get started, to get coverage on your page. But from there, make content that you feel like is true to you and bring that in even from the beginning of the account, so that way people aren't shocked. But those trends just really do help with getting coverage. So anyway.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Marla, I really appreciate the steps that you've given us.
Yeah.
Yes, me, whoever ends up listening to this too. Because from someone who's knew you first, I literally did not know that you were a content creator.
That's so fun.
First, and then found that out, and then found out, whoa, she's kind of big. And then my family in
huge.
Florida. Yeah, no.
Huge.
And my family in Florida, who's not LDS, right,
Uh-huh.
is like telling me that they know you. I'm like,
That's
wait,
weird.
hold up. That's really cool to me because it's family connection. There's an emotional
Yeah.
state for that for me. And whoever decides that, what I want to become like a Marla Smiley, or I guess I like a Marla Catherine.
Smiley.
But like with my own branding, it's really
Yeah.
cool to hear that the steps maybe are only $30 and like sometimes.
You can totally get started. You don't even need that, but I would recommend that. Though.
Okay. Oh, see, optional.
Optional
$30.
$30.
And I think so. There's this last thing that I'll say, and then I'd love to hear your final word.
Yeah.
There's this book that we read at BYU for one of my classes by a professor here called Jeff Dyer.
Okay.
He's written a couple of things, and this book is called Innovators DNA, and he has a spectrum inside it where people are ideators. Sorry, the umbrella of innovator is ideators and executors.
Okay.
And it's a spectrum, right? So someone could be purely ideating, but not really like to be the executor of it. And someone could be all about gung-ho, like, let's get stuff done, but may not have thought about the process
Yeah.
the way ideators did. And I think when growing up, I always heard, whenever there's a dichotomy placed here, like a binary, like one or the other, I always thought, oh, the best is 50-50.
Yeah.
But different roles, I think, apply or appeal or really maximize and magnify people's ability. Amplify, sorry, that's the word.
Yeah.
If you're like an I, strong I, but a little bit of an E, or strong E, a little bit of an I.
Yeah.
And I almost hear maybe Evelyn is a really strong ideator for here's what we should, but she's also someone who's on the back end working and executing on that end so that you can now execute on the front end.
Yeah.
But the reason why I bring this all up is I feel like this podcast is for people that are closet executors.
Okay.
Like they have ideas, they want to make moves on it, but for whatever reason, they
There's a hesitancy.
have
they
a
don't
hesitancy.
Know. Okay.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is fear, and I think a lot of it is what you just said, the
Yeah.
unknown.
The hardest part of literally anything, I feel like, is just getting started. Even same with literally for me going on a run, the hardest part is just putting on my running clothes and going out the door. But
Yeah.
once you're there, it's a lot more easy to just keep going. And I do think with social media, I would really reduce your expectations with what you think growth is going to look like for you, because it is a different industry now than it was even 5 years ago. It's going to be an industry next year than it is now. But just be consistent with it. If it is something that you really want to do, keep on sticking with it.
Okay, so the final question I want to ask Marla
Yeah.
is, you do what you love.
Yeah.
So I want to ask, how do you know doing something is something that you love?
How do I know that
Yeah,
I'm doing something
it's
that
a
I
really
love?
bad question
No, you're fine.
because I feel like it's a little bit not clear.
Like, how do I know that what I'm doing is fulfilling?
Yeah, can I actually rephrase the question
Yeah,
slightly?
rephrase it.
So let me ask this first.
Okay.
It looks like you love doing what you do, is that right?
I do.
Okay. What does it feel like when you, or can you describe the last time you were filming a video of the things that you like doing?
Okay.
That you were, maybe it's not the film part.
Yeah, I don't
But-
think it's the fun part for me.
Okay, please tell me what it is that you absolutely love the most and what it feels like to do that. Because what I want people to now have from this
Yeah.
is that feeling of riding the wave. What it is that they
That
can
euphoric
truly
feeling,
have
not
to
the
look
throw-up
forward.
feeling.
Not the throw-up feeling.
The throw-up feeling.
Yeah.
I feel for me the most fulfilling thing with social media is, because can be a super vain job. Like, I'm literally just, my camera rolls selfies. Please don't. But I feel like in real life, I have met so many incredible girls that have been so genuinely so kind, and a lot of them have actually become my best friends. Ava literally jokes around all the time, you tell everyone that story, and I'm like, I know, I'm so sorry, but I'm just so proud of it. Ava's one of my closest friends.
Are you about to tell the story?
No, I'll if you want, but pretty much I literally got invited to her birthday party as a guest, which was really weird. I felt like I was Mickey Mouse showing up to a meet and greet.
You were, by the way, how old?
19.
Okay.
Yeah, but or 18. I might have been 18.
I thought I heard you were,
17.
I think it was pre-Brock.
Oh,
which
it was
would've-
way before I met Brock.
Yeah, so I think it would have been younger than 19, but.
Yeah, it was way before I met Brock, actually. So anyway, Ava and I have been friends for almost 4 years now, and she's one of my dearest friends, and she literally used to be a viewer, and so we had a connection. They invited me to the birthday party, and just instantly when I met her, I'm like, she's so kind, and so we started hanging out. But and then I have another friend, Joanna. I met her at Walmart. She
Love that.
she had just moved here from, I think, Boston, and we she's like, oh, I watch your videos. And then we started talking in the aisle, and then we got each other's numbers and started hanging out. And once again, she was a bridesmaid. She's, like, just the dearest girls. And I feel like I have yet to meet a viewer that hasn't been incredibly kind. And I feel like they probably have had a lot more impact on me than I maybe have had on them. But I feel like you're doing something that you like when, first off, you don't dread doing it.
Yeah.
But also, because it's going to be difficult sometimes with whatever job you have. But social media is just such a huge blessing with the flexibility of the job.
Yeah.
And then also the amount of connections you're able to make
Yeah.
on a mass level. Just DMing people and just having just good conversations or just being able to connect in different ways. Because I will say a lot of the audience that I have even currently, I literally have had since 2015, 2016. A lot of my audience came in around that 2017 area time, about 8 years ago. And we're still like in connection with each other, which I think is really cool. So I think a lot of the girls that I connect with online, I feel like they have grown up together. And I think that's really neat. It's a privilege to have that. So anyway.
So riding the wave to you is you have your people that have followed you come up and you realize that there's strong connection.
Yeah.
And they're seeing them as
I
real
would say
people.
the throw up part is posting and being vulnerable. But for me, riding that wave that you're forward feeling is making really awesome connections with other people that are similar. And even not similar, but someone finding that I like that sense of identity and community. So online community can be very strong. So that's awesome.
Thank you so much, Marla.
Of course.
Marla Smiley. I love that name, but we'll go by your brand name.
You're fine,
Marla
Catherine. No, Marla Smiley is a good name.
And if you haven't heard of Marla, no one judges you. That was me 3 years ago.
No one judges. It's okay.
But yeah, thanks so much. I don't really have a wrap-up message.
No, I think that's awesome.
But I'm excited
That's
like walk
you
out
should
or
have a phrase, like then you say, let's catch the wave.
Oh, wait, sorry. So I want to call the studios Drop-In Studios and call the actual podcast The Drop, because the vibe I want to get is this actually what you just spoke to, I think, with the people, is being able to find this connection that feels really authentic. And social media sometimes can seem like people are untouchable. Yeah. Am I allowed to say names of people that were famous that, from that story earlier, you know what I'm talking about?
What story?
The story of, wait, I just forgot her name. Oh.
I have no clue what you're mouthing.
Okay, fine. So Olivia Rodrigo was the story that we were talking about earlier, right?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Is that okay? Okay.
You can say that.
Okay,
That's
cool.
not secret.
I'm like, is that a secret? Because they seem untouchable.
Yeah, I don't think the audience knows. I never even told my audience. It was I just never really felt to share, but it's not a secret. I went out to lunch with Olivia Rodrigo when she was filming for High School Musical, the musical, the series, it's the longest name. Yeah. And I had watched it and I thought she was so cute. So I went and followed her on Instagram, but I realized it said follow back. So I'm like, oh my gosh, she already follows me. So when I followed her, she started DMing me and was like, I'm in Salt Lake, we should go out to lunch. So we ended up going out to lunch. We went thrifting together. Yeah. So classic. Sweet, so classic. She was so sweet. I never posted about it especially because she was pretty big. She hadn't really started she actually had just released Driver's License, her song that really made her blow up. I think literally just that same week when I went out to lunch with her. And it hadn't really blown up yet, but I didn't want to make her feel uncomfortable by like posting her, because anyway. But she was very, no, I don't care though, I'm not gonna talk about it, but
I didn't know if there was like something there where you were, I won't tell other people, or I'll respect that you need your space or whatever. That's why I was, I don't know how it works. That's
I don't know either, so you're doing great. But I do think something that was always refreshing is because she's huge now. Olivia's literally like selling out stadiums. That's so cool. Yeah. But once again, I feel like, I will say, being in this industry, I do feel like I've met a lot of random people that I'm like, I don't know how I got here, but I was there. Yeah. And at the end of the day, everyone's human. Yeah. I always joke, I'm like, people have to go to the bathroom. They have belly button lint. They have stinky breath sometimes. Like, everyone is human. And there's no one that's really untouchable or exempt from being human. Yeah. And so I think that's why, even with this podcast, like just humanizing maybe people that someone has looked up to, and hearing like where their beginning ground, because everyone has a beginning. And I want people to listen, who are listening to this, to feel like to really ultimately believe that they are someone that could feel like, or that other people might think are untouchable, but almost approach this with a mindset of whatever they do to absolutely become a good one. Yeah. It's a little bit of a change from the quote that's attributed to Abraham Lincoln. My mission president actually first gave the slight change to me on my mission, because the quote is like, whatever you are, be a good one. And it's all about my mission president's message, which is about becoming a good one and focusing more on like the process rather than the checkbox of what it looks like. Yeah. And the idea here, I think, is I would love for people to blow up from listening to this, not because they listened to it and all of a sudden now they're big because they listened, but they're big because they were inspired by someone else that was on here. 100%. And then to take that mindset of I was inspired by connection. I was inspired by Conan Gray. Yeah. I think a lot of people getting started is always inspired by something else, and so if this could be a chain reaction for that, that's awesome. Amazing. So, thank you so much for the authenticity. Thanks, Brian. Same to you. Thanks for the dirty Dr. Pepper.
You're welcome. But we'll just go ahead and sign off here. And yeah, so you said we should say something at the end. Oh yeah, sorry. I'm gonna say
thanks for listening to the
It's hey, thanks for dropping in.
That's good.
Thank you.
Okay, do you want to say it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for dropping in.
Thanks for having me.
See you, Marla. Bye.